Okay, back now to complete with my panel. It's very in vogue these days to say, keep peace in this election, maintain peace. Let's be peaceful in this election season. And some people are saying, no. Saying, let's keep peace forgets all of the other elements that are important to make sure we have a credible poll. I want to get your final comments on that.
I think what we need to learn is how to disagree respectfully. And so it's difficult to tell people that dissent is not wanted at this point in time, because if there's so many reasons for dissent to manifest at this point, because there's so many reasons to point and say this thing is wrong. For instance, I don't like what Kalonzo just said with regard to going to people's door to door to make sure people have voted. I think it's sketchy. And it is potentially dangerous, because what is he asking people to do? Are we supposed to go and ask people to give reasons that are acceptable to the people that have come to your door why you did not go and vote?
Yes.
There are so many reasons people don't go and vote, including the fact that we are not mandated to. You don't have to vote if you don't want to. And so there's a sensitivity about how close this is, and you can understand that that's the place where he's coming from. And this kind of nyumba kumi way of getting people out to the ballot, I don't think is necessarily safe, because it doesn't respect the individual. With regard to the peace narrative, I think what Dr. Wandia said earlier is true, that we have ghosts of painful and violent and things. We have ghosts of deaths. We have all sorts of things that have happened in our past that we are remembering and that have traumatized us deeply. And this is the place that this messaging is coming from. I do think, however, that the thing we need to inculcate in each other is the knowledge that we are all going to be here regardless of what happens, and that we need to be able to live with one another well. And I don't think peace is enough of a word to capture that.
What is wrong with Dr. Ndiba asking for people to be peaceful, considering 2007 and the chaos that followed the disputed poll?
I don't see anything wrong with that, because we saw what happened in 2007, so we wouldn't want a repeat of that. I don't know what else we can say. We cannot preach and perpetuate peace at this point in time. We all need peace, because there is a tomorrow. We don't have another planet to go and live in. So I think it is the right thing to preach peace.
I think the peace narrative is dishonest, and it's another vote wisely kind of mantra, because when you look at the people who have been pushing the peace narrative, they also have some interests, and they have made certain political decisions that people read, so that people read that the peace message as taking a political position. But also, we have to look at, is Kenya peaceful? For so many people, we can't walk out at night. Our salaries are not guaranteed. We have no food. What kind of peace are we talking about? When people tell us to keep peace, they are telling us to keep calm so that the market can go on undisturbed, and yet it's not working for many, many Kenyans. And so that's why the peace narrative is being disputed. But finally, also, one of the things that disturbs me is how historically inaccurate some of these calls for peace are. They are usually based on a very flawed interpretation of history. Sometimes even the facts are not right. So I think if somebody is going to put their reputation on the line and ask for peace, they should do the homework and find out, what does peace mean? Is it just lack of physical violence? Because violence has been economic, it has been, our dignity has been violated by the circumstances we are living in. So I think peace advocates, especially if they're influential, they need to do their homework.
And the people usually targeted by this narrative are usually the youth. And so it was surprising, maybe instructive, when Julie Gishuru asked people to maintain peace, and there was such a violent response from one section of the population, said, no, you shouldn't ask us to maintain peace. You shouldn't be asking for the systems in place to make sure that we have a credible poll.
Yes, I've been hearing that narrative a lot. A lot of young people are saying, if this election, the process is clear, transparent, and accountable, there will be peace. Credibility will produce peace. But however, I do have to agree with Dr. Wandia Njoya when she talks about what is peace. Just the absence of conflict? No. Because even during this process, there are people who are tense. Are we going to be tense every 5 years? Every time we have an election, we're unsure, we're buying food, we're wondering whether to go to the village. That's not peace. So it basically means that there are issues that we have not solved historically, and perhaps we need to go into that as a people and as a nation so that we can now start talking about national cohesion. Then we can start talking about peace.
I agree with what you're all saying, but again, to that common person, to the simple person, what do we tell them? Because the kind of things we're discussing here as a panel are very complex. So simply, how do you talk to that common person, the common man, in a simple language?
I would take issue with the idea that that there are such vast differences between the things that we are saying here. Maybe tunaongea Kiingereza nyingi, lakini there's no big difference between what we are saying here and the things that Kenyans are talking about when they're walking on the streets, in our homes, when we're watching TV in the salon, when we are in the market. There's no big difference between our politicking and the politicking that's going on. We are a subset of the people. The thing I did want to say with regard to peace is exactly what Dr. Wandia said, that so many people do not live lives that are peaceful, and that either way, regardless of where this election goes, it would be a tragedy if we went back to what we call business as usual, because we cannot go back to business as usual. This kind of tipping point has told us the feelings of Kenyans about where they are and where they want to be are very, very strong, and that we need to listen to that, and that everybody, if the incumbent comes back, they're going to have to listen to that. If the new people come in, then they have their work cut out for them. All right, that's a great place to end it. Ladies, thank you so much for coming in this evening. We appreciate your insight, Dr. Njoki Ndiba, Nerima Wako, Dr. Wandia Njoya, and Dr. Njoki Ngumi. That is it for Decision 2017, but there's plenty more coming up in the days ahead in this crazy, crazy election that we're covering for you from every angle we possibly can. During the day tomorrow, Gladys Gishanja is here. In the evening, Mark Masai and believe Smriti Vidyarthi. We're here until the last vote is counted, every result is declared. So listen, you don't need to be going anywhere right now. I'm Larry Midal, on behalf of the team. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.